Hi, AP Computer Science. This is Mr. Roberts. This video will be brief. I've decided that I'm going to try and put fewer items in each one of these mixes so that you can get through them quicker and focus on the important things. This specific mix is about comparing strings. How do we do that? I don't know if you've tried this, but if you have two different strings and you use the equals, right, the comparison thing, you're going to get false if you have two different strings, even if they have the exact same characters. And the reason why is we cannot compare we can't compare objects using equals. We can only compare primitives that way. So we can compare booleans, doubles, and ints. Those are the three primitives that we're dealing with in this course. So let's get started. So I've got this thing called mystery word, and I'm going to use this for the next couple demos. I'm going to go ahead and delete everything just like I always do. Select all, delete. I'm going to set up my template. I'm going to use a scanner class, a scanner this time, so I'm also going to import the scanner class at the same time. So import java.util.scanner, and then public. I'm going to call this mystery word mysteryword. It'll become clear in just a moment why I'm calling it that. And then, of course, inside of here, we're going to have our public static void main. And inside of here, capital string, an array of strings called args. And I'm going to close this method. And then down here, I'm going to close the, I'm going to end this class. Oops, don't forget it's a comment. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to quickly set up a member of the scanner class. Today, I've decided I'm going to call it scanit, so S-C-A-N-I-T, and that's going to equal a new scanner, and it's going to be system in. So it's really cool that I typed that, because that is exactly the syntax Java uses over and over again to create things called objects. We haven't talked about objects a lot, and we're definitely going to be pivoting and moving into the realm of objects soon. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this model to create a string object. Now, it's true Java allows you to make strings in kind of a cheater way, but I'm going to go ahead and use almost all the time this full way, because I want you to just get used to how do you create any object. So what we always type is, first of all, what kind of object it is. Now before, I just made a scanner object, that's why I typed scanner. By default, the scanner class isn't imported, that's why I have to have that in my import statement. However, this class that I'm going to make is always part of any Java program. It's the string class. So again, the type is string. So we always start with the type of thing you're making, and then we give it a name. I'm going to call this string mystery, M-Y-S-T-E-R-Y, because this is going to be the string of characters that holds my mystery word rather. Then we have the symbol equal, and I'm going to always this keyword new. And then what are you making that's new? Well, I'm making a string, string. And then what you do is you pass any parameters you need to set up the string. Just like, for example, up here above, I was making a member of the scanner class called scanit equals new member of the scanner class, and then I gave it this parameter, system.in. It's a way of reading lines of text from the terminal window. Here to set up this string object, right? So notice the syntax is exactly the same. What are you making? What are you going to call it? Equals a new one of those things. And then again, what is it? It's a string, and then I'm going to give it the characters all lowercase, W-O-L-F. So the mystery word is wolf. And semicolon. Oh, you've probably noticed and have been screaming at me, I forgot the semicolon up there. Not to worry, I've included it, we're good. So now I've got my mystery word. Now I need the user to give me what their guess is, right? So they're going to guess the mystery word. So I'm going to just do a print line statement here, system.out.println, and I'm going to say quote guess the mystery word, period. Again, now that I've prompted them for that, I'm not going to include another white space because to me it's the same thing, right? Prompting and then getting it. So string, string, guess. And then this time, instead of creating a new one, right, the scanner class is going to go out and get it, and guess will then be referencing that one. So I'm just going to invoke member of my scanner class called scanit, and then .nextline. So that's going to read the next line typed into the terminal window, and then they'll press enter for that. All right, so now that I've got that set up, I now need to kind of see, hey, are they right? Are they wrong? Did they get the correct thing? So I'm going to go ahead and use an if-else structure. Remember, if is super cool, right? And I'll just type this all in. If the first thing we have here is some Boolean, something that's true or false. If that thing is true, then we've got a line of code for what we do, if true. And then we have an else statement. You can see as soon as I turn that else on, notice it realized, oh, this is all part of the same block. And then down here we type, well, what do you do if the Boolean was false? So there's only one Boolean here for this whole if-else block, and it's right here. If it's true, do this. If it's not true, do this thing. So what do we do if it's true? Well, I'm going to set this up so if they guess the correct word, I want to do system.out.println. And what I'm going to print here is, in this case, because I'm going to say they guessed it, so you win. And of course that merits an exclamation mark, but not two of them. Don't get carried away, just one exclamation mark. And then the other one down here, they didn't guess the word, so and I don't want to say you lose, that bothers me. So what I'll say instead is better like next time, or try again, or something like that. Let me do this, try again, because you know what, I always believe if you don't get things right the first time, right, you can always try again and do better. So the problem is we don't have our Boolean. We need something that compares two strings. One of our strings up here is this one called mystery, and the other one is called guess. So there's the mystery word, and then there's the user guess. Let's compile this, and you can say like, well, hello. If you're going to give me an if statement, I need a Boolean. So watch this. If I type the word true there, that is a Boolean. Check this out. Now, what? If, oh, I didn't spell it right, T-R-U-E. It's like, nice try, but I don't know what that is. So you can see now it's like, what's going to happen is you will always be a winner. The way I've set this up is, hey, if this is true, and yeah, you typed true there, so true is always true. So it will always be you win, which is nice. This is not as nice, but notice it still compiles, right? So now it's like you're always going to be asked to try again. So how about we compare these words? So as I've said, here's a problem, right? If I say if mystery, M-I-S-T-E-R, and then here's how we would compare primitives, right? Like we can compare ints, doubles, or booleans this way. M-E-S-T-R-Y. If mystery is the same, is equal, guess. Now I can go ahead and do that, and it'll compile just fine, right? Let's run this now. So I'm going to say, okay, let's run it. So okay, guess the mystery word, and watch this. I'm going to type W-O-L-F. It's exactly right, right? If you look at it, that is exactly what it should be, all lowercase W-O-L-F. As soon as I press enter, it says try again. What? Clearly, mystery is the same as wolf. Something different's going on here with objects, right? That's not the same as what happens when we are using primitives. We're going to get more into that now. Not now, later, but for now, I'm going to show you how we compare objects, right? So what we're going to say is instead of mystery equal, we're going to say here's a string object dot equals. So we're going to invoke a method on our string. Our string is called mystery. We're going to use a method that it has available to it called the equals method. And inside of that, you just give it the string you want to compare to. So here's how this works. If these strings, this is how the comparison works for strings. If the strings have the exact same characters, case sensitive, lowercase and everything, then this whole thing, mystery.equals guess, will evaluate as true, right? So if this word is the same as, if this string If the letters in the string are the same as the letters in this string, it'll evaluate to true and it'll say you win. Otherwise, it'll say try again. Let's go ahead and compile that. No syntax errors. And let's run it. So if I run it now, I'm going to type just like I did last time, lowercase WOLF, and boom, you win. Right? Now let's come back over here. I'm going to type, this time I'm going to type Hornet. Try again. But the problem is check this out, right? All of a sudden you can see that the program stopped executing. So it says try again, but there's no flashing cursor. That, my friends, will be the next video when we talk about while statements. So this is a new feature I'm introducing in my mix. After I go through some demo code and talk about things, I want to have like a summary of what I think is the central point, the big idea for this little brief video. And so here's our summary, right? First of all, if we need to compare the characters in two strings, we do not use the comparison operator equal equal, right? We only use equal equal if we're comparing two primitive types, or if we want to know if two objects, if objects are aliases of each other. You don't know what that means. We don't even really know what objects are yet, but stay tuned, we'll learn more about that. If we want to compare two strings, A and B, we use the dot equals method of the string class. And here's how we do that. We basically say A and then dot equals, and then in the argument we pass, we put the other string, right? So A dot equals B. That will be true if A and B contain the same characters in the same order. Otherwise, it'll be false. So basically, A dot equals B becomes a Boolean. It becomes true or false. So we could use that in an if statement where a Boolean is required. And that is the end of the summary for this brief lesson on how do we compare strings.